Hello guys, in today's video we're gonna check out the 5 best CPU processors in the market for this year. I made this based on my personal opinion, and I try to list them based on a price, quality, durability, and more information about these CPU processors. You can check out the description below. So let's get started. AMD Ryzen 5 7600. 6-core, 12-thread unlocked desktop processor. AMD's Ryzen 5 7600 is arguably the best value mainstream processor that the chipmaker currently sells, with impressive performance for its appealing price. This chip has 6 CPU cores with thread-doubling SMT support, and it can hit speeds of up to 5.1 GHz. The processor is also equipped with a low-end integrated graphics processor, IGP, that isn't up to running games but works fine for any non-gaming display task. It's also notable that AMD ships this model with a Wraith Stealth cooler. This cooler is a bit lackluster, but it does save you from having to purchase one for basic operations. This processor is suitable for a wide range of everyday tasks, but it's arguably best if you just need a basic PC for gaming and work tasks that won't cost a fortune. You'll find plenty of faster alternatives, but simply put, not everyone needs or will benefit from that added speed. In our lab tests, it performs well in gaming frame rate trials, and it will undoubtedly work well in a gaming PC. Intel i5 13400F desktop processor, driving better performance per dollar than most other Intel CPUs. The Core i5 13400F is a standout option in Intel's desktop lineup. It lacks integrated graphics, but Intel makes up for this by dropping the price. If you plan on buying a graphics card, this is arguably well worth the trade and can help you save a few bucks on the processor that could be put to use instead toward more RAM or a faster video card. For anyone building a mid-range gaming PC, the Core i5 13400F should be one of the top options you consider. Faster processors are always available, but you aren't likely to need more speed in a mid-range gaming PC than what the Core i5 13400F can muster. Regardless, you likely want to look for something else if you aren't already planning to buy a graphics card, as the savings aren't enough to justify buying a graphics card if you weren't already planning to. Higher-end processors may also be desirable to extend the useful life of your PC, but otherwise, the Intel Core i3 13400F is hard to beat for its price. AMD Ryzen 7 5700X. The Ryzen 7 5700X was introduced toward the end of the AM4 platform's life as AMD's flagship mainstream processor, and it launched with a price that undercut many existing Ryzen 7 5000 series chips. Despite its lower price, this 8-core CPU drives similar speeds to most other Ryzen 7 5000 series processors. The lower price without any appreciable change in performance made it an alluring option at launch, and this still holds today, especially as its price has dropped further. As mentioned above, the Ryzen 7 5700X can be picked up today for less than its entry price, but even then it was already a highly attractive option. Its performance is among the best of the Ryzen 7 5000 series, and it manages games in a particularly excellent fashion. This makes it one of the best options to consider if you want to build a gaming PC and save a few bucks on the processor, which will help you stretch your budget for a better graphics card. Intel Core i5 10400 desktop processor. Yes, this processor is a few generations old now, but that doesn't mean the Core i5 10400 still can't perform adequately in many scenarios. The processor has 6 hyper-threaded CPU cores that boost up to 4.3 GHz, which gives it more than sufficient power for office work or everyday tasks, like heavy multitasking and web browsing. As it's grown older, its price has dropped, and so has the cost of motherboards that support it, which makes it a more affordable option than many newer solutions. We'd hesitate to recommend the Core i5 10400 to gamers, but its reduced price makes it a worthwhile option for businesses and families to consider. Realistically, it would probably be best to buy a newer solution, but if budget is the #1 thing driving your hardware purchases, then the Intel Core i5 10400 is a strong value option. AMD Ryzen 9 7950X. If you want to build a PC around an AMD processor capable of the best possible performance that AMD has to offer, regardless of the cost, then the Ryzen 9 7950X is the right option for you. At the moment, it is unquestionably AMD's fastest consumer-oriented processor, packing 16 CPU cores, 32 threads, and a blistering fast 5.7 GHz clock speed. It's also on AMD's new AM5 platform, the first socket revision for AMD desktop chips in many years, and thus can bring the benefit of DDR5 memory on compatible boards. The Ryzen 9 7950X is the best option from AMD for you if you do a lot of work that is CPU intensive. This includes compiling software, heavy multitasking, and content creation work, like rendering videos and editing images. The Ryzen 9 7950X could be an option for a high-end gaming PC, too, but realistically, it's overkill for that purpose in most scenarios. Unless you use the same PC for professional content work, too.